Hi everyone, this is Saurabh from Everything Flow and Everything Design, and today I'm going to discuss about linear gradient border and how you can achieve linear gradient border with a linear background. So this is something which I found really interesting and was struggling a lot in the past, and usually my only answer was to designers that can we change the background color from linear gradient to a static color. But later on I came across one solution and it really helped me. So today I'll be explaining how to do that and how do you achieve that on your next Webflow project or any other project. So this is an example which I created where you can see you have a linear gradient on your background as well as you have a linear gradient on your border of this particular div block. So usually what happens when we don't use the code which I'm going to use, we end up doing something like this where you particularly have two divs. One is the main wrapper and on the top of that you have another wrapper, and you do a linear gradient on this block and you add a color over here to hide that and do this overlay kind of thing, which works if you have a static background. But if you don't have a static background and you're dealing with linear gradient, you need something like this where it works perfectly fine. So let's go and see how does this works right now. So over here in Webflow, I'll show you how the code looks like right now. I am calling out the div called team card. Let me just show you the card here, team card, and inside the code, I'm putting a pseudo code called before. So before allows me to add additional CSS property over the block before getting to the content part. So here, these is some basic CSS property which I've used to achieve the result, and I'm gonna break it through for you right now. So content double quote is actually meaning that there is no content over the element. Position absolute is to make sure that the border which we are gonna create goes on top of the div element, which is right now team card. Inert 0 is basically similar to what we do on left, right, top, bottom 0 positionings. So inert 0 basically puts everything at 0. Border radius, typical border radius of the card, so which you see over here, the curved, that's around 15 pixels, that's what we are putting. Border we are doing with 2 pixels, solid transparent. And now over here we are doing background linear gradient. Now this is where it starts getting interesting. So background, we are putting a linear gradient at 180 degree with this 2 hex code, and we are doing a border box. So border box will make sure that this linear background color also covers the border area of the box. And over here same thing is with the web mask and mask, these two are pretty much same. So here we are doing a linear gradient with 180 degree, again the hex code, and we are putting this on a padding box. So padding box ensure that the padding is added to the padding area, and same goes again with the linear gradient which we are adding one more time for the mask. And the second linear gradient which we are adding is basically the additional mask over the padding area. So these two combined gives us this linear gradient effect which you see right now, and WebKit and mask does the same thing. Now WebKit mask composite, so here it's what exactly what we are doing with this gradient thing. We are using a destination out, which is basically an exclude or a subtraction method from a mask composition. You can just Google it and look for it. And exclude and destination out is basically the same thing. It's just with WebKit this works perfectly, and with normal one we use exclude. So this too will help you get this effect where it gets you a transparent background and maintain a linear gradient over your element. So this is a pretty simple easy code. And one thing which you see over here is the position absolute which we are doing. So we need to make sure one more thing, when we use a card we need to put an absolute position over a card. So make sure that the linear gradients actually sits inside. If you don't do that, your gradient will run away. So yeah, this is how we get this linear gradient. Now other thing which I really like to do, or I did in one of my projects, is right now you see the gradients are like from one card to another. What I would like to do, if I have a gradient which I want to flow from this part till here, I play with the combo classes over here with left, center and right. So if you see, this gives me a cool gradient overlay effect, and this is basically me playing with uh, gradients over here with a combo class on before. So I'm just changing these values from the gradient and getting the same effect. Now what I like to do after this, when we go into responsiveness, I want to change the gradient uh, angle or gradient degree. So all I need to do is use screen media, and with that maximum bit I can again play with these values for that respective screen size, and I'll get this cool effect over the gradient. And yeah, pretty much this is how we can achieve linear gradient on box border over a gradient background. Hope this helps you out. Bye.